So what does this all mean? I mean, in QHHT, with Dolores Cannon's work, many of my clients that I get who are Starseed and Indigo clients, when they go through their regressions to the 3 different lifetimes, they'll get a lifetime of a different parallel reality than the one that they're living now. They'll get lifetimes of them being a elemental, being a different type of being an energy being, being a they have work in the spirit world that they came here, that maybe they were a spirit guide or a life planner. They had different jobs there. I've had people who they were an angel in the spirit world and now they incarnated here. They were Pleiadians, a lot of Pleiadians. I get a lot of Pleiadians, and everybody is, what is being shown is you've had multiple lifetimes. You've had multiple lifetimes, and all these lifetimes are your experience to give you the skills that you can achieve your awakening and ascension in Earth. Okay, and the reason why incarnating in Earth is so different is because, unlike other parallel lives, other dimensions, other planets, you kind of have a little bit of insight and you still have connection to the spirit world. But with this, you come in with amnesia. There's no instruction book for how you are supposed to have your awakening. There's no instruction book for how you are supposed to have your ascension. There's no instruction book for how you're going to connect to the Earth and help raise the frequency of the people around you so they can catch up to Earth as she moves into a different parallel reality.
Dolores used to say that it's the most difficult school in the universe.
It is. And the thing that is good that we have is that we function as a collective consciousness, or unity consciousness, or oneness, or it doesn't really matter what you call it. But we are a collective consciousness, and even the Global Consciousness Project, measuring the Schumann resonance of Earth to see kind of where she's going and what she's doing, proves that we are connected as well. And you still there?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So all of this stuff is basically preparing you that if you were able to build a planet as a creator being in a previous lifetime, or you had wonderful high-level jobs as a Pleiadian, or you were, the ship captain of a starship, you've done all these feats. You can overcome these abundance blocks here on Earth with no instructions, and you can make it to the other side healthy and have your awakening and have your ascension and raise the frequency of not only yourself, but by being yourself, you affect everybody else around you. And the reason why that is so important is this, and it all goes down to consciousness, okay? There is a final doorway that everybody's working towards, and not everybody's going to make it, but at some point in their incarnations, they will. And the final doorway that you do is you surrender your ego, okay? The human experience, everybody has this kind of fake facade ego that is part of the human experience, okay?
Who we think we are, our identity.
It's our identity, and you're never going to get away with it. It's the way in which you have a soul. It's the way in which you exist as yourself. I have my ego so that I can be this. You have your ego. Everybody has ego. It's just part of the human experience. Mm-hmm. However, that ego is attached to the universal mind. Okay, and the ego is so strong that you will come back lifetime after lifetime to have these different experiences. And there's nothing wrong with, having your individual experiences. Mm. But at some point, you're going to have to let go of your identity. And when you feel comfortable letting go of your identity, that means you let go of Hera and all the things that Hera has done. You let go of identifying with Earth. You let go, you surrender all creation. Okay? And this is what avatars have done. That's why it's taken them so long to become an avatar. It's because the universe gave humans the power to know itself. And by knowing itself, the universe will know itself through you. And when an avatar, which anybody can be an avatar, when an avatar reaches Buddhahood, by letting go of its addictions to all of creation, okay, then it levels up all creations in the Lord's consciousness, okay, because we're all connected and we're all one. So in order for the universe to have the physical experience, by creating physicality for souls to incarnate and have their own personal growth journey, back to Buddhahood, back to being reabsorbed to the pure source of energy, in order for them to have that experience, that physicality, it created the game of polarity, okay? And they talk about this in a lot of, they're trying to reach non-polarity, trying to reach the void, trying to reach spiritual emptiness in Buddhism is what they call it. But in order to have one, you have to have the other. So when the universe created physicality to know itself, it also created the spirit world as an opposite, okay? And it's the same thing. You have yourself, and then you have your loved ones. Gotta let that go too.
It's like matter, antimatter.
Matter, antimatter. Everything has a polarity. In order for one, there's good, there's bad, or truth, and there's falsehood. So it's the game of polarity. And that game of polarity is not bad. It's how the universe creates new experiences through that dichotomy, through that polarity. But at some point, if you want to have ego death and let go and surrender all of that creation back to source and get reabsorbed back to the void, back to the spiritual emptiness of the universe, go back to the central spot and get reabsorbed to the one mind, you have to surrender it all. You have to have your ego death. And when somebody has their ego death and they let go of it all and they go to the doorway and go back to the Lord, they raise the consciousness of all of humanity. Okay, they bring everybody who's at a lower consciousness a little bit up into a better reality. And they not only do that, but because we're all connected. So like I said, when the universe split off and created physicality for all these souls to have an ego so that they can have the individual growth experience, it also created a spirit world, which composes of archangels, of angels, of all the stuff in the spirit world. They exist because we exist in polarity. And when somebody in the earth world or in the physical world finally reaches the highest level of consciousness, Buddhahood, and surrenders all of this, because we're connected, it raises up the frequency of everybody else in creation. The
Makes
spirit
sense.
world, the physical world, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? So that means that archangels are coming in to QHHT sessions trying to help people, raise the consciousness of these starseeds, of these indigos that come into the sessions, of the people that are coming in trying to get their awakening and their ascension because they want to catch up with Earth because she's ascending. And every single buddy is playing their part in raising their consciousness and increasing their frequency so they can make it to the new Earth. But then at the same time, by everybody else working on their personal life and being the best version of themselves, they are emitting an energy out to everybody else in the universe.
Let me
That
ask you, what are the main advices that these spirit guides and these archangels are giving to people in order to raise their frequency? What are the, like, have you seen some commonalities there?
yes,
Like,
and this is not going to. This is spiritual work, and it's not really going to sound that exciting because spiritual work is actually really quite mundane. The thing that comes in all my sessions is one, it will be revealed to them their abundance blocks, why they keep having these kind of relationships, why they keep manifesting this kind of illness, why they keep manifesting this kind of injury, and where the source in their past lives was what caused that. So they will be shown what their abundance blocks are and how to address that. And by seeing that and learning from that, that will remove that energy, and so they'll know not to repeat that pattern, and they'll know what to work on. Once they get past all the stuff that has been holding them back, then they need to work on their ascension. And the Oversoul always gives everybody the same advice. They're not going to tell you what to do or how to do it, because that is your choice to do. That is your journey. Because if the Oversoul came in and just started doing things for you, there'll be no point in you existing and having your own individual experience.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
They don't interfere. They're just proposing, advising.
Yes.
Suggesting.
Yes, so just suggesting. And so the Oversoul, and sometimes, I always talk to Oversoul at the very end, but sometimes archangels will come through to people to give advice. Sometimes the past deceased family members will come through to give advice. Sometimes their counsel, sometimes different energy beings or people part of their soul group from their Pleiadian lifetime or from their other lifetimes as elementals or whatever, parallel reality, other lifetime that they, were up until this point. It will come through in the sessions when I talk to the Oversoul, and then at the very end I talk to the Oversoul. But all these different things that come through in the QHHT session is telling them the same thing. One, these are your abundance blocks. Work on these abundance blocks so you don't repeat the same issues lifetime after lifetime. And then work on your ascension, which is leveling up your frequency and your energy. And in order to do that, what you do is you live with integrity, you live with courage, you work on attracting to yourself the next best experience for you. You be the best version of you that you can be. So if you came here to be a physicist, you may be, a lot of my clients here in Seattle, I get a lot of gamers, a lot of science people as well because of the work that is in this area. I also get a lot of medical as well. But you came here to infuse a little bit of your knowledge from the spirit world into this reality. And everybody is trying to create the best life that they can by being the best version that they can be. Sure. So they're trying to be, the best version of the cook and make food that people love and crave. They're trying to be the best mom or dad that they can be, and trying to raise children with integrity and courage and, with good merits with them. If they're trying to be the best doctor or nurse that they can be, they're doing that with integrity and courage and trying to be there for their clients and kind of help them through difficult times. So there's all these different ways in which people are trying to be the best version of who they are. And by being the best version of who you are and living with courage and integrity, you are increasing your frequency and you're increasing your vibration, and other people can feel it. And it uplifts other people as well. They're less confrontational, they're less argumentative, they're more loving, and it inspires them to also do their inner work and live a better version of their life, okay? And so the Oversoul in all of my sessions and all these different beings that come through when I talk to the, at the end of the session, when I talk to Oversoul, what is your recommendation for this person in this life? They will say much the same thing. Work on your abundance blocks, and then work on raising your frequency. Work on being your best self. Work on attracting to yourself the different things that you need to, in order to accomplish what you're looking to do. And you do have help. Okay, look for the signs through synchronicity. You'll see repeat numbers, you'll see things that maybe aren't related, but they come into play and they actually do help you on the next step. And in Buddhism, synchronicity is basically your soul groups working together to help you out. So somebody here might be working on an issue and somebody over here might be working on an issue. But if you have had your awakening or going through it and you're working on your ascension, you are raising your frequency. So your soul groups know that and they're ready to help you. So they'll work together and go, somehow we're going to find some kind of way to connect these two together, because so that they can work on the next experience that they're supposed to go on. And your life starts becoming magical. Your life starts having these synchronicity events almost all the time, almost every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, what is beautiful is that we are certainly not alone, even if it seems so for many people who haven't awakened to this reality. And the thing is that they don't want to interfere, right? So as long as you don't ask, you're not aware of them. The magic starts when you start to become aware and start to ask, and then they step in, and it's a game changer.
It is a game changer, because that you have your awakening. You realize that the reality is responding to your commands. And then 2, you work on your ascension, which is raising your frequency up. And when you start doing that, then you start talking the language of light. You talk the language of the spirit world, which is, they want you to help you create the best life that you possibly can and live in joy and peace and harmony. So they see, oh, this person's they're finally ready. So you ask for help and they're going to be there, and they're going to work with other soul groups to set things up that is going to be in line with your next best experience. And your whole life becomes magical. And synchronicity is the way in which you know that there is a God or a Lord. It is inside everybody. It's inside all men, all women, all children, all animals. It's inside everybody. And the more that you play with your energy and the energy of the universe and how things, react and respond, the law of attraction is a very common word that's used for this. The more you play with energy and our hologram, the more you start realizing this is all a manifestation mirroring the stuff that's inside me.
Yeah.
And synchronicity is just further confirmation that this is all, everything is a spiritual experience that's reflecting from inside me, helping me raise my level of consciousness, helping me attain enlightenment. And how eventually, at some point in my creation, help me to surrender my addiction to all of creation and all the magic of creation and return to God.
Absolutely.
And be engulfed in the spiritual emptiness of the void.
Wonderful. Let me ask you about if you have any updates, any information coming through your sessions regarding the development of the ascension.
The development of their ascension, it really depends on what the customer is working with. So if the client is working on trying to get to the point where they're going to have children, they had some difficulty having children, then some of the recommendations that the Oversoul and that their spirit group will come through in the session to give them is to work on their communication style with their spouse, work on removing the blocks that have prevented them from having a healthy pregnancy, like maybe they overwork themselves or they have a very stressful job that is causing them a lot of toxicity. So removing those types of blocks so that they can have a healthier relationship and be in a healthier state of being, so they can easily manifest and attract that healthy pregnancy and have that healthy child. So if that is what they're working on in their next best experience to live the best life that they can live in the version that, in the incarnation that they have, that's the type of stuff that comes through.
Mm.
So if they're working on if they're working on something with work and they're having a hard, I get some programmers who will come in and they're working on something kind of metaphysical for games. And a lot of computer programmers at one time used to be monks. In different parallel past lives, they used to be monks, and they're actually using their metaphysic knowledge from the past lives and infusing that into the video games that they create.
That's funny.
Skyrim. So a lot of that stuff is actually not stuff that people make up. It's actually stuff that they're bringing out from their consciousness about portals, pyramid technology, about just different metaphysical concepts. That's stuff coming from their past lives. But if they're working on something for their work and it touches into metaphysics, they will want to get some insight and some direction on how can I work on this specific issue with my work so I can make a better product. And again, that's another way of being the best programmer and putting integrity in your work and putting the best product out there for everybody else to have. Because in reality, spirituality is everything. It's not just it's not just in religions, it's everything. So everything you do is a hologram. It doesn't really exist in reality. So all that we're really doing when we're buying and selling things between people is we're trading love energy. We're trading love and compassion and joy between one another. So when you do something in your work, and this comes through in my sessions as well, even if you're a carpenter, what it will tell you to do is be integritous with your work. Don't cut corners. Don't go for the cheapest material and then bait and switch customers to sell better material, because you're going to have that in your life review and you're not being integritous, and that's going to lower your frequency.
Right. Another question I have is if you have any information regarding what some call future solar flares.
Those are they are going to happen. And they happen in small bits here and there. And what they do is they help affect the spikes, the energy frequency of the earth. And whenever she has a spike in her energy frequency, she's going to make multiple leaps forward into her parallel reality, or what you call the new earth.
So you mean that the spikes of the Schumann resonance are mini solar flashes?
They're all connected. They're all connected.
Yeah.
So, she is responding to the energy of the universe. And when the universe does a step forward, she does a step forward. And everybody else who's doing these work to raise their ascension and awakening and raise their frequency are also taking a step forward with her. With all my QHHT sessions, I always get the same message from my clients in different ways, from the Oversoul, or from their deceased loved ones, or from archangels, or whoever that comes through. And it's always about the same thing. So I put it together in these 4 or 5 sentences that I like to say to everybody. This is what the Oversoul wants everybody to know. The Oversoul wants you to know that you've always been enough. You've always been enough. And to use the gifts and resources all around you to experience the life that you want. A life full of joy and love. And the spirit world will work with you through synchronicity. Okay? And that you could do it. You can do it. And that's the message that the Oversoul wants everybody to know, that comes through in all my sessions in all these different ways, no matter what elements they're working on in this incarnation. Okay? And many of my clients, when they regress them, they will go to the Great Library, kind of like in the West, they call it the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records is just a library of light that has everybody's lifetimes into different books. And when souls go there, they'll open up a book, and they'll open up a book and they will experience firsthand, as if they were that person, all of their journeys and all their lives. And so when souls are deciding to reincarnate to work on different things as part of their spiritual evolution, like maybe they want to work on forgiveness, for example, they would go to different parts of the Great Library where people have forgiven great feats, and they will understand from that experience, and that they will use that as a framework for maybe how they might want to organize their lessons and their journeys and their excursions in the next incarnation that they go into. So everybody here is working on writing their own book. They're writing their own life story. They're writing their own book of music. And so your lifetime is you're creating it, and you're contributing that and putting it into the Great Library for other people to learn from and to experience. So do your best to live the best version of you possible, live with courage and integrity, and work on your awakening and ascension, because that's part of your story. And that story is a story that is wanted from the Great Library, because so many spirits on the other side from different planets, from different dimensions, who are interested in how do we raise the frequency of the people in our planet or our universe, and raise the frequency of our universe and our planet that we live in into a better, more holistic reality. They are learning from us. They're learning from our books that we put into the Great Library.
Yeah, they're studying us, right?
They're studying us. That's why aliens are so fascinated with humans.
And especially our emotions. They say that our emotional system is very interesting for them to observe, because many of them have passed through that, and they are very interested.
Yes. I mean, like again, the universe, the Lord created physical reality so that we can all have our own individual experience and grow. And by doing that, it grows and learns from its own creations. And so if our own, and it decided, I'm going to try something different. No instructions.
I like that.
No instructions. Let's see if they return back to me.
No rules.
No rules. No overlords in this universe. No overlords in this planet. Nothing. Blank slate. I want to see if my creations, what they can create with what they have, if they can self-organize and return to me.
Yeah, it's an incredible concept, really.
It really is. And just being the best version of you, and living with integrity, and living with courage, and working on all these different principles, you are making a difference in not only your life. And when you look at your life and your life review, you're going to be like, oh, I learned from my mistakes. I achieved things that I don't regret. You're going to look at your life, and you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. That's completely up to you. And if you decide to incarnate again into this reality, into another Earth reality, or you decide to go back to the Pleiadian galaxy and incarnate back there, or you go back to all the other realities that you came from, you're going to bring this experience, and you're going to be their guru of how to do it, because they're going to maybe create an experiment like this as well. And so they're learning from us. We are their teachers. And they're laughing at us too.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Laughing at us too. I laugh at humans all the time too, but they're laughing at us and crying with us and learning from us. Yeah. And if a couple avatars return to source, they're admiring us.
Yeah. I must say they have an amazing sense of humor whenever I connect to other levels of, like, whatever, whether they're extraterrestrials or angels, and even ascended masters. They have this amazing sense of humor because they're so light. I love that.
Yes. Yes. And again, being light is just removing your abundance blocks so that you can be the true energy that you are, which is love, joy, and enlightenment.
Yes.
Because the universe made everybody enlightened. It made everybody equal in terms of energy. So we're all an equal energy being, an equal orb existing in reality.
Yeah.
But it's these abundance blocks that we have been conditioned through our childhood that is lowering our frequency. And your children are already high frequency. Like whenever the Schumann resonance, the Earth's frequency does her major leaps or jumps, children sleep just fine. They do just fine. Nothing, it hasn't phased them at all. It's the adults that are going, oh, my back hurts, I can't sleep, I'm having rest anxiety. You know, it's because we're kind of an old beta. We're in an older machine, and so we're getting our own upgrades. If you work on this work, it's going to be easier for your upgrades. But Dr. Hawkins, in the Map of Consciousness, and through his lifetime of research, have already shown through kinesiology testing that the human body can only handle so much energy. So 500 or 600 level of energy is for most part, most people can handle. But before he died, he had learned through his series of questions that they are changing the nervous system of people so that their nervous system can live in this reality all the way up to Buddhahood, which is 1,000, which is level enlightenment in the body.
Yeah,
so
we are being upgraded, absolutely.
We're getting upgraded, so our energy is getting upgraded, and so it's just more pleasant experience going through this whole process if you just awaken and if you are working on your ascension. And if all the other modalities haven't worked for you, then I really recommend going to Dolores Cannon's website and finding a practitioner in your area and go and get your cheat code so you can get to the other side healthy and start working on creating the best version of you possible so that you can contribute that wonderful book into the great library. So that other souls and other planets and other beings can learn from you. You're their teacher.
Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you so much for your wisdom, for all the information that you brought through today. And why don't you say to people where they can find you?
Yes, so people can find me through my website, merkabachakras.com. And it's best to just send me an email because then I can answer your questions. And again, like I said, I'm a working mom, so I have to manage a couple of different responsibilities. So I will email, and then if it is meant for you to have a session, then we will create that session and you start looking at your abundance blocks and getting you on the right way to work on your ascension. Now, the thing with me that's very interesting, and this is what I do, is I put a pyramid above my recliner that all my clients go through. And they found in pyramid research that for some reason, if you put a pyramid on something, it amplifies the energy. So food stays fresh longer, tastes better, more vibrant. People are happier, healthier, whatever the thing is. And they don't know why. They're still doing pyramid research in academia. So so I put a pyramid above the recliner, and I put an Egyptian ankh inside it just to further amplify it because it helps amplify the harmonics. And they found that in harmonic research as well. And so I'm just kind of tuning people up their frequencies. So if you're into this practice, or if you just want to help amplify yourself, put a pyramid somewhere above your workplace or whatever for a little bit, meditate on it, but it will help increase your energy and your frequency. Some of the side effects is you're going to start seeing some ascension symptoms like flashes and orbs and human auras, and that's okay. It's all going to simmer. So that's what happens when you live in synchronicity and in a higher level of existence.
Fasten your seatbelt and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be, and there's a lot of us that's here to talk to you. So if I get a lot of religious people too, from very strict religions, and they come here and they get the answer and they go back to the church much happier, lighter, and they get a little bit more of a holistic viewpoint of everything. So, and that's fine as well.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much, Vaughn.
You're welcome. Thank you
for being here. And thanks everybody for watching. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.